Hello everyone and welcome to Kiki Crochet. In this video tutorial we're going to learn how to crochet step by step these beautiful snowflakes, and this is the first design that we're going to see. Throughout the video we're going to see how to crochet them, how to, I think it's called in English, how to starch, which is how to make them hard so they're not bendable, so we can, when you decorate them on your Christmas tree, they stand the way they are. Okay, now I had made a Facebook post and I showed how I had my how I had the snowflakes pinned on a styrofoam, and a friend of mine asked me if the styrofoam would stick on the snowflakes. I said no, because the first one that I had made did not stick, but the mix of the starch that I made was thinner than the one that I used for the next two. And for these ones I have the pieces of the styrofoam on the back of the snowflakes. So what we need to do is, before we pin them on the styrofoam, put a plastic bag under it and then pin it on the styrofoam. This way you won't have pieces of the styrofoam on the back of your project. So let's go ahead and see how to start. The yarn that I'm using to create my snowflakes is this thin thread right over here. Okay, and I'm using a 1.25 millimeter crochet hook. Now, because when I tried to make a sample on the camera with this yarn, I wasn't able to see what I was doing, so I thought that it wouldn't really be helpful if I crocheted with this thin thread. So I'm going to make a sample with a thicker yarn. This is a lightweight yarn and a 4 millimeter crochet hook. Okay, so I'm making a sample with this yarn so you're able to see where I'm putting my hook into the stitches. So I'm going to start with my magic circle. Wrap the yarn around your two fingers once and bring the yarn on the top left. Now, put your hook under the right yarn over the left and pull it under. Turn your hook around once and grab the left yarn and pull it through the loop. By doing this, we have our first chain as well. So I want to crochet 2 more chains. 1, 2. So those 3 chains give me my first double crochet. I want to have a total of 12 double crochet in the center of my magic circle. So I'm going to crochet 11 more. So starting to count from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. So I have a total of 12 double crochet in row number 1. Grab the yarn that you started your magic circle with and pull it tight up until the first and last double crochet touch with each other. Now I'm going to work a slip stitch in the first double crochet for this row to finish row 1. So our first double crochet was the 3 chains. So put your hook in the 3rd chain and work a slip stitch. Okay, so this was row 1. Now we're going to start row 2, where I'm going to start by a chain of 3. 1, 2, 3. Those 3 chains count as a double crochet. Put your hook in the same exact stitch that we just worked the slip stitch and work 1 more double crochet. So this is the same thing as working 2 double crochet in the same stitch. Now chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Skip the next double crochet and put your hook in the stitch after that. So we're going to be working 2 double crochet in every second stitch. So skip the next one, put your hook in the stitch after that, and work 2 double crochet in the same stitch. Again, chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Skip the next double crochet, put your hook in the stitch after that, and work 2 double crochet. 1 and 2. Chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Skip the next stitch, put your hook in the stitch after that, and work 2 double crochet in the same stitch. 1 and 2. Again, chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Skip the next stitch, put your hook in the stitch after that, and work 2 double crochet in the same stitch. 1 and 2. Chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Skip the next stitch, put your hook in the stitch after that, and work 2 double crochet in the same stitch again. Now chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we're left with only 1 double crochet on our row. So because we're left with only 1 double crochet, that's the double crochet that we always leave as a space. So I'm not going to work into that double crochet. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put my hook in the first double crochet for this row in the chain 3 that I started my row with, and I'm going to work a slip stitch. Okay, and chain 1. So by following these steps, I have a total of 6 chain 5 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so now we're going to start row number 3, which is the last row for our snowflake. Now this chain 1 does not count as one of the chains that I need to create one of the points over here. Okay, so this chain 1 was just to help me begin the row after the slip stitch. I'm going to chain 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And I'm going to work a slip stitch in the 8th stitch from the hook. In the 8th chain from the hook. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Put your hook in that chain and work a slip stitch. So grab the yarn, pull it through the stitch and through your loop as well. Now chain 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Work a slip stitch in the 8th stitch from the hook again. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and work a slip stitch again. So grab the yarn and pull it through the chain and through the loop on your hook. Now chain 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and work a slip stitch in the same exact stitch that we worked for the previous stitch as well. So work a slip stitch where we just did for the previous stitch. So this is the second time that we're working a slip stitch in the same stitch. Now chain 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and work a slip stitch for a third and last time in the same stitch that you worked the previous 2 slip stitches. Okay, in the same stitch again work a slip stitch. This way you have this little flower looking thing up here because you're working 3 slip stitches in the same stitch. Now I want to move downwards in the space where I worked the first slip stitch down here. So remember that we worked a total of 10 chains and we worked the slip stitch in the 8th. That means that we have 2 leftover chains down here. So I'm going to work 1 slip stitch in each of those 2 chains. okay, and one slip stitch in the same stitch where I worked the slip stitch down here. Now I'm going to chain 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and slip stitch in the same exact space that we just did. And I'm gonna work. Now I want to go downwards. Okay, so I want to work one slip stitch in each of the next 3 chains, which are the last 3 chains that I have left. Okay, so 1, 2, 3 slip stitches. Again, the chain that I used, the chain that I did in the beginning after the slip stitch does not count as one of the chains that I'm working for the snowflake. Now, after we did those 3 slip stitches to go downwards, put your hook in the second double crochet right over here and work a single crochet. Now in the chain 5 space, in this step we're going to be doing in every chain 5 space, work 3 single crochet, 1, 2, 3 single crochet, chain 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 3 more single crochet in the same chain 5 space. 1, 2, 3. So now again we're going to start making this point over here, and the steps that we just did, the one side right here, the point of the snowflake, in this 3 single crochet, chain 7 and 3 single crochet, we are going to repeat a total of 6 times around. We want to have 6 points and 6 chain 3 and 6 3 single crochet, chain 7 and 3 single crochet all around our snowflake. So let's go ahead and see how to do it one more time, and then we're going to finish off camera. So I've worked my 3 single crochet, chain 7, 3 single crochet, and now I'm going to work 1 single crochet on top of the first double crochet, and again chain 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Put your hook in the 8th stitch from the hook. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 down here, and work a slip stitch. Now chain 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Put your hook again in the 8th stitch from the hook. So I'm putting my crochet hook in the 8th chain, and again I am going to work a slip stitch. Now chain 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And put your hook in the same exact slip stitch that we just did, in the same exact chain, and work a slip stitch as we just did. Okay, so this is the second time that we're working a slip stitch in the same chain stitch. Now chain 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and for the third and last time, put your hook in the same exact stitch, in the same exact chain, to work a slip stitch. Okay, so we have 3 slip stitches in the same chain stitch. Now I want to go downwards to start working in here the other loop, the other chain loop. So out of the 10 chains, and that we worked the first slip stitch in the 8th chain, that means that we're left with 2 chains down here. So work 1 slip stitch in each of those 2 chains, and now work another slip stitch in the center right over here where I worked the slip stitch in the beginning. Okay, in the same chain stitch, and again chain 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and slip stitch again in the same exact chain space. Now down here I'm left with 3 chains because I chained 11 in the beginning and I slip stitched in the 8th stitch. So I'm left with 3 chains down here. So work 1 slip stitch in each of those 3 chains to move downwards. Okay, and work 1 single crochet in the second double crochet of the previous row. So we completed the other side, the second side of our snowflake. Now, we've reached the chain 5 space, and again we're going to work 3 single crochet, 1, 2, 3, chain 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 3 more single crochet in the same chain 5 space. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so you want to repeat those steps all around. You want to have 6 long sides and 6 short sides in each chain 5 space. I've completed crocheting all around, and I'm going to, after the last 3 single crochet, chain 7, 3 single crochet, I'm going to work a slip stitch down here where I started. Slip stitch, chain 1, cut the yarn, pull the loop, and tighten up. So this is how your end result looks like with the thick yarn, and this is how it looks with the thread that we're supposed to crochet it with. So even if you iron, you're going to have the same result after a few hours. See how everything folds here? So what we need to do is we need to harden our snowflake. So this will become this right over here. This will be our end result. So let's go ahead and see how to do that. Okay, so this is what I want to do to my snowflake. I want to block it, but I want to block it in a mix of water and wood glue. This is what I'm using. I mixed up a big tablespoon of wood glue, and I used half glass of this of water up to here. So I need half glass and 1 tablespoon, a full tablespoon of wood glue. So I add first the big tablespoon of wood glue in here, and little by little I'm adding the water, and I'm stirring very well my my mix of water and wood glue. So what I want to do now is I want to take my snowflake and dip it right in here and let it soak for about 3 minutes, because if you dip and take it out right away, the outside will harden, but the inside, because the glue won't have gone through all of the yarn, it'll be flexible, so you won't have a very nice end result. So you want to let it soak for about 3 minutes. Okay, so when my 3 minutes go by, I'm going to turn the video back on and see how to block on my styrofoam. So I let my snowflake soak for 3 minutes, and I'm going to take it out, and I'm going to put it on the napkin to dry it a little bit. So just tap it on here. And now I'm going to pin it on my styrofoam. So I want to start by pinning around all the corners of the snowflake, starting from the top. The bottom, okay. Now what I saw on the snowflake that I have already hardened is that the pins gave a little rust right here in 4 corners in 4 spots on my snowflake. If you add glitter on your snowflake, you might avoid the rust if it comes out to be visible. So now grab the other side and pin it. Pin the other corner. Pin the other corner down here and right over here. So once you're done, you can fix your corners because probably they won't be straight. So I want to fix this corner over here, this corner here. I'm going to fix those 2 corners right over here. And here. Now, I want to pin the 6 corners of the chain 7 spaces. Okay, so this is the one corner over here, the other one over here, the sides, and the 2 corners down here. So again, if you're not pleased with the end result, you can fix your corners again. Okay. Now I want to pin each loop that I made on my snowflake. So they're stretched out upwards. So stretch it upwards and pin it to open it up. Pin the bottom 2 loops down here upwards to open them up. Okay, and this is what I want to do on each side of the loops of my snowflake. I've completed pinning every single loop, every single corner on my snowflake. I'm gonna let it dry for 24 hours. And when I finish, I'm gonna take out each pin out. And this is what we're gonna have as an end result. You can use it as a Christmas ornament on your Christmas tree, but you can also make it an earring. You know, if you add those links and you add the hook, you can make it an earring as well. So thanks for watching. Please subscribe, and if you like the video, please press like and leave a comment. Thanks again. Bye bye.